Welcome to Opening a Residential Child Care Facility, a webinar presented by the Governor's Office for Children. This presentation will provide some basic information about the process of opening up a residential child care facility and talk about some of the basic requirements for that program, as well as some of the different types of facilities and programs, and how to conduct a needs assessment to know whether or not your program is needed at this time. Before you can begin accepting children, you must first obtain a license, a rate, and a contract. These steps must be completed in the following order. First you obtain your license, then you obtain your rate, and then you obtain your contract. This presentation will briefly discuss those steps in more detail. There are 4 basic expectations of successful applicants for licensure. First, you must demonstrate that you are able to understand and apply COMAR regulations that govern your program. Second, you must demonstrate experience and expertise in serving youth with intense needs. Third, you must have experience and expertise in operating a business. And finally, you must have sufficient financial resources to support your program for at least 6 months. If you don't meet all 4 expectations, it will be difficult to earn your program. Out-of-home placements have changed significantly over the last several years. Through Place Matters and other strategies, state agencies encourage family preservation where it's possible and have reduced the need for placement. As a result, the children being placed today have very intense needs, such as serious developmental disabilities, a history of violence and aggression, co-occurring behavioral and physical challenges, or are stepping down from more restrictive facilities. As you may have gathered, the need for new providers has decreased sharply over time. Every year, the number of children placed in facilities has dropped by 10%, and in fact, according to DHR, the number of youth in out-of-home placement is at an all-time low. If you want to open a new program, then your facility must meet the specific needs of placing agencies. That means it must serve a geographic location or provide a specific service that fills in a gap where existing services are not meeting a need. Before we begin, it's important that you know upfront that the process of becoming a new licensed provider takes a very long time. You should expect that each stage in the process will take about 1 year to complete. At minimum, you should expect the process to take 2 years before you begin to receive a state contract. For some applicants, the process takes even longer. It's very unusual for the process to be completed in under 2 years. If you wish to pursue a license, you must become familiar with COMAR. The Code of Maryland Regulations, or COMAR, is the official compilation of all administrative regulations issued by state agencies. All residential child care programs are regulated by COMAR. As a new provider, you must demonstrate that you understand and can apply COMAR to your program. We'll talk a little bit later about specific COMAR sections that apply to different programs. But for now, just know that you may access COMAR online at the website listed below. Because so few children are being placed, it's your responsibility to demonstrate that your program fills a critical need that currently is not being met. One of the best ways to do this is by directly contacting placement agencies and interviewing employees about the need for your program. Make a note of names, titles, and telephone numbers of the people that you speak with, and also note the date of your conversation. This will be helpful when you apply for your license. You must also demonstrate that the licensing agency is currently licensing the type of program that you are seeking to open. And you must also provide any other relevant data that demonstrates the need for your program. This may include demographic or geographic information that supports the need for your services in the area that you are hoping to open your program. You may wish to consult the Out-of-Home Placement Report, which is located on the GOC website and offers geographic and demographic information about children in out-of-home placement statewide. If you wish to obtain a license from the Department of Human Resources or the Department of Juvenile Services, you may do so only if one of those agencies issues a Statement of Need. A Statement of Need is an official certification of public need for the location and establishment of a residential child care program. Currently, DHR and DJS have not issued a Statement of Need in some time. When and if these agencies issue a Statement of Need, it will be published in the Maryland Register. If you would like more information, you must contact these agencies directly. Currently, only DHMH, via the Office of Healthcare Quality, or OHCQ, is currently licensing new programs. These programs are therapeutic group homes, alternative living units, and group homes for the developmentally disabled. We'll take a look at these types of programs and their requirements. Now let's talk about the types of programs currently being licensed, so that you can consider which one might be the most appropriate for the population that you wish to serve. The first type of program is a therapeutic group home. A therapeutic group home requires a 1-to-3 staff-to-resident ratio and includes an on-site licensed mental health professional and 24-hour overnight staff who must be awake. A therapeutic group home may serve no more than 8 children at one time, and the children placed here have a history of psychiatric hospitalization, medically diagnosed disorders, or may be stepping down from more restrictive placements. Therapeutic group homes are the most intensive community-based services available. They must be nonprofits, and they must have both a board of directors and an advisory board. Therapeutic group homes must serve an age range no greater than 3 years. It's strongly recommended that you review the COMAR sections listed on your screen for all of the requirements for therapeutic group homes. The Department of Health and Mental Hygiene's Office of Healthcare Quality licenses 2 types of facilities for youth with disabilities. The first, alternative living units, or ALUs, are specialized living arrangements for youth with severe disabilities. No more than 3 youth may live in an ALU program. The second, group homes for the developmentally disabled, are structured and supervised programs with basic care, social work, and healthcare services, and anywhere from 4 to 8 youth may live in a group home at one time. Programs licensed by OHCQ can be either nonprofit or for-profit, and they don't require an advisory board. It's recommended that you review the applicable COMAR section for programs serving medically fragile or developmentally disabled populations, as well as the additional sections of COMAR that are listed on your screen. Whether you are starting a for-profit or nonprofit business, the state offers resources to help you get started. If you're looking to start a nonprofit or a 501c3 organization, please visit the web address listed on your screen at sos.state.md.us to obtain a checklist for starting a nonprofit. If you're interested in starting a for-profit small business, please visit business.maryland.gov/start for more information. Before you seek your license, it's important to note that you will be expected to demonstrate in detail that you have sufficient resources to operate your program prior to receiving a state contract. As stated previously, this is typically a 6-month period of startup funds. Please note that receiving a program license is no guarantee that you will receive a state contract. As part of the licensing process, a successful applicant will provide a narrative explaining their anticipated startup costs and how they will be covered without state funding. An itemized annual budget with all anticipated costs, and an itemized staffing budget with annual salaries and benefits. It is very important that you provide sufficient detail about existing funding streams. It's not enough to simply state that funding will come from fundraisers or that the program has a line of credit. You must provide details that demonstrate the strength of your business. For your startup cost, it's recommended that you project costs for the first 6 to 9 months of operation and assume that you will not have a state contract until after that time. Once your program is licensed, you will work with your licensing agency to submit a request to the Interagency Rates Committee to receive a rate. All rates are set by the IRC, and payment rates are determined by the levels of intensity of the services provided. All contracting agencies will use the rate set by the IRC. For more information about how the rate setting process works, it's recommended that you visit the web address listed on your screen. This concludes our presentation. We hope that it has answered your basic questions about opening a residential program. If you're still interested in the process of becoming a licensed provider, please contact the agency responsible for licensing your program to begin the process. Updated contact information for the licensing agencies may be found at our website, which is goc.maryland.gov/SPE. Thank you for your participation, and thank you for your interest in serving Maryland's children.